morning. How y'all doing? It's A to the I to the R to the EAL, Ariel, and you are on Aire's spiritual REALmality. So y'all, today is just gonna be like a pod thought. It's not a podcast. It's just a pod thought, something that I was just thinking about maybe in the midst of the moment. So let me go and get up into it. So I was just thinking, like, y'all, your flesh and your spiritual self, like flesh and the spirit. A lot of things in this world today are being controlled by flesh. And we see that every day when we scrolling on social media, when we listening to music, when we are even in our daily lives, we do some fleshly things each and every day, y'all, believe it or not. And y'all know what else we do. You know, we consuming things that we know are for the flesh, and we know that it only give us temporary pleasure, but we still continue to do it because that temporary pleasure be feeling very pleasurable at the moment, but later on down the line, a few days later, a few weeks later, we like, dang, man, like, I feel bad. Like, if you are a person that knows what you do, you're aware of what you do, how you do it, when you do it, and you know that it's not good for you, and you know that's not what you need to be doing, then you instantly feel some form of conviction after you do it. Now, if you are a person that runs in the flesh and you know that you're aware of what you're doing, but you still continue to do it because you could care less, baby, well, hey, do you. But for the people that know that they do it and they know that it's wrong, then you would know, like, that was my flesh I was operating in. And one thing about your flesh will allow you to feel like what you're doing is okay. It would allow you to feel like this is good. It's just this little bit. It's just for one day. Like, it would like make what you doing, your fleshly doing, to be an exception. And that is how the enemy comes and deceive you, for making it, twisting up everything, making it seem like, well, it's just this, it's just that, it's not gonna hurt. It makes you feel like what you're doing is cool, and that is so dangerous because that's what they promote nowadays. They promote you to say, to do this, to do that, to drink this, to drink that, like eat this, eat that. Believe it or not, it's in every form of it's in every categorized thing that I can think of. And we have to make sure that we're not idolizing these things, because once we idolize those things, our flesh tends to cling on to that, and it will become a habit, and more so become an addiction. And you won't realize it right then and there, because like I said, it's like you don't find no wrongdoing in it, but in a way it's not helping you. It's actually breaking you down. It's just feeding the flesh more to keep on going. But when does your spiritual self come into play? When do your spiritual needs and wants come into play? When are you taking care of those needs? What about that head, that thought in the back of your head that was telling you, like, you need to go write down your goals. I'm feeling a little depressed today. I'm feeling like some anxiety gonna come in today. Let me just prepare myself. Are we listening to that voice in the back of our head, or we just thinking that like we crazy and we tripping? No, that voice in the back of your head is trying to tell you something. It's trying to tell you to prepare for what's to come, because life is so unpredictable. As much as they try to predict everything, nobody knows when, where, and how things are going to operate. Numbers can tell us. Measurements can tell us, but we can never know the actual minute or second. So that's why that voice in the back of your head is trying to help you, tell you, hey, prepare yourself. If you moving in the flesh, you will block out that voice that is within you. That is God's way of trying to tell your spirit something that could potentially be happening. If you just feel it, you can feel it. Trust and believe. God gives you a warning. He gives you every bit of warning before something occurs. But are we paying attention to that? Are we moving in the flesh? When you are moving in the flesh for so long, your spiritual well-being tends to fade out. It's there, but it fades out because we got so focused on the flesh. So y'all, we need to make sure that we are paying attention. We're taking care of our spiritual being, because our fleshly being gonna always be there, but we can't let it consume us. This is just what pumps us to keep us going, but the spirit is what's most important. We also gotta keep it real with ourselves on what's consuming us, and if it's good for us, or what's not consuming us, and what do we need to consume to make sure that it's good for us. So y'all keep that in mind. It's flesh and spirit. Which one y'all gonna choose? Love y'all. Y'all have a wonderful day and a blessed one.